Good morning, kids. I'm back again. We're talking about Moses. We're going to finish up with Moses today. Um, we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday. Yesterday, Moses and the Israelites had crossed the Red Sea. God had opened it up for them, and they walked across on dry land. Today, we're at Exodus 19, and the story goes on for quite a bit after that. Moses and the people have been walking for many days, and God led them. And every time God told them to rest, they rested. And when God told them to move, they moved. They got to the bottom of a mountain called Mount Sinai, and God told them to set up camp there. And then God told Moses to go up on the mountain. And while he was up there, he got the 10 Commandments. We're not going to go over all of them. You can check them out in Exodus chapter 20 with your parents. But the first one is I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You must have no other gods before me. That's command one. That means worship me, and there should be no other gods that you're worshiping. And the second one that he said is kind of similar to the first. It says, do not make an idol for yourself of any form whatsoever. And do not bow down, do not worship it. And that means in that time, a lot of people would take what they had, like gold, and melt it down and form an idol, something that they would worship as a god. It was like a calf or something like that. And a lot of other religions at that time did it, especially like the Egyptians. So the Israelites had lived in Egypt for a long time, and they were used to seeing that, the Egyptians doing that. And so God said, hey, don't do that. Another command was always use God's name in the proper way, which means God is God. He's all powerful. He's taking care of them. He had been with them. So when they say his name, do so in a way that's respectful and honors God, and don't say it in a way they shouldn't. Another one is obey your father and mother. And this is still important. So obey your father and mother. And that's because, God had given these parents the opportunity to raise his children, and God had given you your parents. And so he chose your parents to be your parents, and so you need to respect them and obey them. Do not take something that does not belong to you. Do not steal. And that goes from everything from, if you see a ball that rolls into your yard, don't take it inside and say that it's yours. Or don't take things from your brother or sister that aren't yours and hide them. To when you're at the store and your mom's not looking, don't try to take any candy or anything like that. People make those things. People own those things. And if you want it, then you need to pay for it. And the last one we're going to talk about is always tell the truth. It's the real longer commandment is do not give false testimony against your neighbor. But for you guys, that's don't lie. When your parents ask you who ate the last cookie and you're like, it wasn't me, and it was you, tell the truth. In our house, we don't like lying, and so we tell our kids that if you do something wrong, yes, you're going to be disciplined, but if you lie about it, the discipline is going to be worse. And so it's always the best policy to tell the truth instead of trying to lie and cover things up. God loved his people and wanted them to love him. All of God's commandments would help the Israelites show their love to God and to other people. These rules are still important for us to follow. When we obey them, we show love to God and others. As God's people, we should look different than everyone else, and one of the ways we do that is obeying these commandments that God is giving us. By obeying our parents, we show people that we love God. By not lying, but always having integrity and telling the truth, we show people that we love God. By not stealing, we show people that we love God. And so following these things, not only do we show people that we love God, but our lives are better. I mean, people don't like people who lie all the time, or people who steal all the time, or people who don't listen to their parents, or people, stuff like that. Okay. So God gave us these commandments so that our lives would be better because we followed them, not so that He restricted us, kind of put rules there just so we'd have rules. He did it for us so that our lives would be better, and that we would show Him love. So cool. Trust me, life goes better when you follow the rules, and life goes better when you obey your parents too. So that's important. Yeah, so that's Moses, and it kind of wrapped up. Next week we're going to have Miss Summer back talking about Joshua. So come back and we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend.